we still had to build foundation.
Still had to build foundation.
And I think that's, that's
we
one
definitely
of the,
put the cart before the horse.
100%. And, it taught us. So if we talk to other people, they say, okay, well, I want to start a business. You got to write the vision and make it plain. You have to.
And honestly,
you may not know all of it,
right,
but you got to start somewhere.
What is up, entrepreneurs? Welcome back to the Video Simplified podcast with your hostess, the mostess, Diana Gladney. You are in for a treat today. A lot of creators have the idea and the desire at some point to want to start introducing merch or merchandise and equipment or promotional products and things like that to your brand and your vision. Now, you are already familiar with this company, even if this is your first time hearing from them or even knowing about them. You've already seen their work when it comes to the Learn and Do t-shirts, the Create, Post, Repeat shirts that I wear. That is my own specific merch that is absolutely brought to life by way of PressNSow. And I'm so extremely humbled and grateful. And they also work with other creators and other brands as well. If you've seen any of the eCam merch and promotional products and stuff, that is PressNSow at work. This interview, we're going to be diving into not just about how to start getting merch and, doing all that, because that's relatively easy. However, it's some of the concepts that's behind the scenes that you don't understand and how that connects to your brand and the purpose and the vision of what you're doing, not just to put something nice on a shirt, but something that really connects and communicates with your target audience and your brand. So if you've been wanting to get into merch, you're going to love this week's interview with Andrew and Sylvia Nixon of PressNSow. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now that's enough of an intro from me. Let's get into this week's episode. Well, Sylvia and Andrew Nixon are officially in the building. How are you guys doing this morning?
We are great.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Absolutely stupendous. I haven't used that word in a long time.
Yeah, I have a friend, Leslie.
Even mean? I don't even know what that word means.
Awesome plus awesome equals stupendous.
And there you go. Yeah. Sounds like a shirt.
That is a shirt.
Yeah, awesome plus awesome equals stupendous.
Stupendous.
Yep. Or
See,
like
this is where it all started.
This is why we are here right now.
Right.
Ideation is huge. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Sylvia and Andrew Nixon are the brains, the brand, and the bodies that do the work behind PressNSow, which is the company that I use for all of my merch. It's a company that creators like Doc Rock, James, Nick Hicks, it's so many of us, as well as eCam Live. All of the merch and things come by way of PressNSow, and it's a whole bunch of other creators that literally would take too long to list. And so we're not going to do that, but everybody is standing behind firmly with PressNSow, and I could not be more pleased. And just right off the rip, first of all, how's business?
Wow.
Busy.
It's very busy. And I believe that Andrew and I are just in awe by how everything has not just manifested, but doors have been open, opportunities for us, so I would say it's on the up and up.
Oh, absolutely. And busy for all the right reasons, because I think sometimes you could just be busy, just kind of creating work for yourself and just, making things, but we're actually being productive. We're growing. Each new customer or client we take on, we grow in another area. So I think a lot of our successes kind of helped push us and helped us really morph and really focus in on what our business model is. Yeah. And we just been getting stronger and stronger each day. So it's been great. We've learned a lot. We continue to learn. We can never tap out on learning. I think
gosh.
You can never learn enough. So we love the learning process, and we're growing. It's great.
Wonderful. I love that. And I think that what you all are doing is such an incredible movement, number one, not just in your space and not just for brands and creators like myself, but honestly for couples. There's such a taboo around husbands and wives working together and working together well to a level of success. Everybody always looks and say like, it's good now, but when's the breaking point going to happen? Like they're always kind of like watching for like the dam to break. And I can tell you from watching you all, like, that I just don't see it. And it's not like it's, you all have put on a good mask. And it's not to say things maybe don't happen or whatever, but I would love for you all to speak about the dynamic of what has it been like growing your business and your brand as a family and as a couple, and like separating that from family and work, and how are you all handling that dynamic?
Well, I think if you don't mind, I'll
Go
speak on
ahead.
it first, because
Yeah.
I know she's gonna finish it well. Um, well, I tell you what, it just really goes back to the foundation of your relationship to begin with, and our founded number one on our friendship. And I think with that solid foundation, although you may hit your turbulent moments, right? Because turbulence doesn't last forever. Let's just go ahead and make a definition. Turbulence shakes up a little bit, but it doesn't last forever. So, we have our moments of, I don't like to use the word stress, but I say we have our high stress moments, our intense moments of importance of, how we're trying to decipher something or get something done or whatever the case may be. But the fact that I think what we put in place is how do we work through it? And that's normal in any workplace, right? So that's just realistic. It's not going to be peaches and cream all the time, but it's not like that in the corporate world. It's not going to be like that in your own business. But it's how do you work through it to get to the end goal? And I think that we've mastered that. We know what the end goal is. We know who and what is important. We know that our personal health is important, and I think keeping that in mind, that's really helped us work cohesively together. And we love creating. I think in both of our
Yeah.
individual lives, we were always creators, are always helping people
Yeah.
do things. So it was just a good match. We just kind of joined our forces together, and that's something
Yeah.
that has just kind of happened naturally.
Yeah. And I believe that we're both in agreement that when somebody gets married, whether you're married, a relationship, you have to understand the purpose behind it.
Right.
And, a lot
Why
of
behind the
people
why.
have connected with an individual and it's no purpose, right? The companionship is great, but there is also a bigger picture, and that is your purpose together. And so Andrew and I have really defined our purpose together, which makes us stay in alignment in our lives and in our marriage. And so we understand that it could quickly be taken away if we abuse our purpose together. And so we always like to keep that at the forefront, no matter how many times it gets stressful, or like we have high intense moments. I mean, we do have some high intense moments because a lot is put on the table. People are looking to us. It's just like, we all often think like, okay, it's just like people like this. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Right.
Da, 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 da.
And some for good and some for not so good.
Right,
So you
right.
always have to be on your P's and Q's.
Right. And so we realize also that giving up is not an option for us as a married couple. And so that is what keeps us grounded, knowing that, again, that it can be all taken away if we abuse it and if we don't steward it well. Now, I didn't say that we would be perfect in it, but we will keep going in it and, give it our all and give it our best. So it is a delight. It is joyful. But the biggest thing is that when we understood our connection and our purpose, the reason why we were put together, then it makes working very easy.
Yep. And our purpose continues to define itself. It's just not that one thing.
Right.
I think there's room for purposes to whatever your
Expand.
purpose is to expand and to
Yeah.
grow. So that's the cool thing, is that it's grown together. You know what I mean? It's like one's not leaving the other. I think one is, there's our moments where we kind of pull and tug each other along, but that's what's masterful about how we work together and how we operate, is that we continue to push each other in any areas of strength and
Yeah.
weaknesses or what have you. So
Agreed.
so it's been awesome.
Yeah.
I suggest it to anybody that that can work it out.
And you're stronger together.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
imagine
at this stage of my life,
you're stronger. You can't be married and just like, well, I'm gonna do my thing. You know how someone you do and I'm gonna do me. Right. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's not gonna work, right? Because that's going to bring strife and bitterness and anger, and the end result to that is separation. And so I think that we have to understand that when we work together, things can happen. And yeah.
Wow. I love that so much. Now, again, we could unpack that all day long, but the thing that really stands out to me first is the fact that you all talked about friendship. Like, you're married and maintaining a level of friendship in order for you to do what you do. And the one thing that I definitely see with you all's brand and the work that you do is that you all were given this vision, it looks like, together. And what purposes that you serve in the business. Like, you all aren't just quote unquote making shirts. You are literally helping people move forward with a vision. It just so happens to be in this particular lane of like creating content. What drove you all to want to start to create merch and brand products for just individuals and companies and whatnot?
Let me go first.
Yeah, you can start
okay.
First.
So Angel and I, we started PressNSow out of a need. And, although we never suggest this to anybody, have a plan, right? You gotta, don't start anything just by the need or the lust of looking at somebody else do it. You gotta have a plan. And for us, we did not have a plan. No, we didn't. And so it caused us to have to start and then backtrack. Right. And so so I'll go back to the beginning. We got a heat press just because Andrew's a designer. And he loves designing, he loves creating. And we're like, well, we're just going to get a heat press and a Cricut, and we're just going to start designing something. Well, that was at the end of 2017. And so by 2018, we both found ourselves in a place that Andrew was out of a job and so was I. And so we're like, wait a minute, we need to let this heat press work for us and make some money.
Okay.
And so we started that out of a need. It was we were desperate for money. And so there was not another option for us at the time. And so we let people know, hey, we did a live. Remember we did that live? We did a live to let everybody know, hey, we found ourselves in this position, and, this is the gift that has been given to Andrew, the designing aspect of it, the graphic designing. And so we're starting PressNSow. And PressNSow, we're gonna design your shirts, and we start off with vinyl t-shirts, very basic, and
humble.
It was a very humble beginning. Yeah. And then from there, people would ask, hey, do you do tumblers? Do you do coffee mugs? And we're like, sure.
Yes, we can. And here's how.
Here's how. And can I just tell you, we said yes without knowing how to do it. But we found out how to do it very quickly. And so we added the promotional side of PressNSow. But we still did, our orders were, an order 5 shirts, maybe 10. We also had someone that screen printed for us. They were our middleman. And, business started growing. And by the end of 2018, we had all our papers together and we were ready to rock and roll. Well, life hit hard again, and we're like, wait a minute, what is happening? What are we gonna do? And we weren't getting enough orders to sustain us, right? And so we decided to go back to work. Right? We lived out 2019. It was rough. It was very rough. We still worked our
And
business.
for the record, we didn't decide not to work to begin with.
Yeah, we were trying.
It wasn't a decision. This was, anybody that works in corporate America, downsizing, and all that. So we went through all that, after years of working in the core. I was in IT. She was in the executive side of things from a corporate standpoint. So we were both very well ingrained business people in the corporate world. And as you know, they'll chew you up and spit you out sometimes, but you can't bellyache over that. You gotta, you still have to get your grind. You still have to figure it out. So, because that was a place where we dibbled and dabbled and always kind of helped people, we're like, okay, well, look, we've been doing this for free for people. Let's just go ahead and make money doing it. So that's kind of where that whole thing started. But again, it was, like she said, it was based off of a need. And not a strategic plan.
So we still had to build foundation. And I think that's we
definitely put the cart before the horse.
100%. And it taught us. So if we talk to other people, they say, okay, well, I want to start a business. You gotta write the vision and make it plain. You have to.
And honestly,
you may not know all of it, but you gotta start somewhere.
And honestly, I think this is the only way that PressNSow should have and could have started.
I agree.
On the books, was it the right way, or to what the society or the world standard says? No, absolutely not. But I think for us, that's how we can really speak from experience. You really can't help people sometimes if you don't speak from experience. You're really kind of learning. So I think that was our way of figuring it out, and knowing like, hey, this is the way you need to do it. This is the way that you need to go about it. And I think that's kind of what really, again, has brought strength to our foundation with kind of how we operate.
I mean, we went back into, I went to work for in the beauty industry. And
I went into going from corporate, I went into the restaurant.
He went to work at a restaurant. I mean, what is happening?
The idea and the thought was,
we're okay, like, what are we doing?
How can I get something that's just going to give me some a steady check or steady income week after week, and it not have a major responsibilities that I can step away and still try to build our business. So that's kind of what the thought was. Right. And then the pandemic came.
Right. The pandemic happened. We went to work for about Andrew did probably about 10 weeks. I did about 5, and they were like, okay, we have to furlough you. And we're like, furlough?
What is that?
Who is furlough? And why is this happening in our lives? Right? It was seriously I felt like it was a war going on, because we're like, okay, we tried to start. It was still a struggle. We did some stuff. We worked very hard, but we're still missing. There's still a gap here. Now we went back to work, which we thought was the right thing. And in the back of our mind, we knew we need to put more time, more effort into our business. And so once they furloughed us, they're like, okay, call this number. I remember they were like, let me give you this piece of paper, call this number, and they'll tell you what to do. I said, tell me what to do. I got a daughter at home. We got a whole rent to pay. You know what I mean? Car payment. This is real life stuff. And so Andrew and I were like, okay, we have to level off our head and think this through. We have to stop and get this together. Let's go back to where we know we are strong in, and that is designing and help visions come to pass.
And we knew now at this point this was our next, because all along the way we're building out this this list of things to do to be successful, right? And now we're at the point of, okay, the next step is, you're never gonna know your true potential until you put 100% into it, right?
Yeah.
So we couldn't part-time it anymore.
Right.
We couldn't be part-time, and that was the defining moment of, okay, let's put 100% energy into this. I do it part-time. There's just some things you can kind of try to juggle along the way, but this wasn't one of them.
And we
We're
knew
gonna make
that
this work.
we had to do this scared. We were very fearful. Why? Because we had a lot again on the table. The bills did not stop coming, right? The calls did not stop. And so we were already in a dark hole, and we're like, okay, we need to do whatever we can to see some light. And so we decided together
to jump.
And we were just going to put 100% in our business. And I believe to this day, with all my heart, it was the decision that was made in my heart, in my mind, in Andrew's heart, and in his mind, that we're going to do this 100% and it's going to work. It's going to work. And so we find ourselves, I was doing an interview with a lady that literally lost her leg. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to stream this all these places? And somebody told us about Ecamm.
Yeah, just by chance, I think I was on Facebook, and just by chance, a mutual friend of ours, him and another buddy just were on a live, and they were playing around with this program. So it was cool. They were moving the visual, the icon along the screen. Right. I was like, yo, babe, you got to check this thing out. It's called Ecamm.
It's Ecamm, right?
So we kept looking into it and did our own research and found out that it was this streaming software, and the timing was just right because she had to do the interview with this lady. So again,
literally the same day, so it all happened the same day.
Right. So again, saying yes to something that she was gonna do, and we're like, okay, well, how do we, let's figure this thing out. Right. It was like, figure out it's either Zoom or this or that. So we got Ecamm, got that all set up. That was successful, made it happen.
Yeah, great interview. That was
kind of the connection and the catalyst to the introduction to the Ecamm world.
And then, to make a long story short,
this is where all the magic really happened.
So here, this is step by step. The rest of the story of PressNSow. We joined the Ecamm community. Our first person we met was Pastor Felicia Austin. I messaged her out of, just to thank her for the video that she posted about a GoPro.
Yeah, she was doing a video on the GoPro 8, I believe.
Yeah. And so I was like, that's so cool. So we started connecting. Then we started following those in the community. Diana was on a live with Pastor Keith Peltzer, Pastor Felicia. And
it was Keith's wife. Yep.
And so we were listening in. We're like, man, this is so good. Oh my God, where did these people come from? They're so amazing. We love Ecamm, right? It's just a whole fan fest. And so Diana talked, Pastor Felicia mentioned something about learn and do, something that Diana had mentioned. And I told Andrew, I said, immediately, make a shirt right now. He was like, what? I say, yes, make a shirt right this minute, and then we're going to send it to Pastor Felicia. And he was like, oh, no pressure. No pressure. I was like, get it done, hurry up. Hurry up, get it done. And so he got it done, sent it to Pastor Felicia. Pastor Felicia sent it to Diana.
And this is the pulse and the tempo of our life.
Right. All the time. Hurry up, Andrew, get it done, hurry up. Right. And so, thank God that it got into the right hands. And, here we are. Diana said, do you have an affiliate link or the affiliate program? Yep, we sure do. And you are the first one, Diana. Thank you.
It is my honor
for creating the affiliate program.
Yes,
it's actually the Diana affiliate program.
There you go. Listen, legacy has been created, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yes.
I love that so much. I remember that day like it was. I remember getting even the DM. It was like, hold on, we're gonna do a shirt. And it's like it was around that time, and then right after that was Vlogmas. So I'm thinking I had made some. This is be honest, some bootleg shirts that didn't look good. And it was just through Teespring, I think it was. Not that there's anything wrong essentially with the company or what have you, but it's like whatever it was through YouTube that you could do, I think. And I remember, and it was so bad. It's so terrible. Like I got the shirt initially and I thought it was great. It's like, it's a start. And I was like, I'll get better. I'm doing all the stuff myself. Now I am not a designer or anything. I literally built the shirt in Canva just to kind of come up with base level concept, and washed one of the shirts, and the whole whatever was on it was gone. It just turned back into a black shirt again. I said, I still have that shirt. It's just like a washing the dishes shirt now. Because I'm like, and I was so upset, and I was just like, well, and I'm talking with the company. It was super frustrating. I had verbalized none of these things, and so it was so just, the Lord works through people, and the Lord's timing is always great. And so to get that message from y'all, and then to see the concept, like that was something that Pastor Felicia just pulled out of a live stream that I did, which is the Learn and Do concept that literally speaks to everything that we do in the brand. When you learn something, go do what you've just learned and execute on it so that you can start moving your vision forward. Again, for me, that would be video. So I'm extremely grateful that first of all, Sylvia said, go make the shirt, because sometimes your visions can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Like if God gives you something, and I can see that. I can see that if God tells you to go do something, and like you are absolutely correct when you said it earlier, you do it scared. That's how I did everything. Yeah. And I'm extremely grateful for you all, because I do believe that small seed germinated very quickly, and I've been so blessed to see the growth of what you all have done in one, putting visions into a tangible product that people not only can sell for their business and their brand, but you can actually wear it. And like, I don't see it. Y'all not just like, quote, on making shirts, making mugs, or no, it's so much more than that. So I'm so grateful that you all shared that. The whole time I just got chicken skin, as Doc would call it, the goosebumps and all that. Now we are getting deep into the weeds when it comes to merch and brand, and I have loved having this conversation with PressNSow. But before we go any further, let's get into this week's Gear Fix. This week's Gear Fix is brought to you by PressNSow, and we're talking about the merch store. So if you go to PressNSow, it's PRESS, the letter N, SOW.com, you will see alongside there with myself as well as other fellow creators and brands the ability to buy merchandise. And guess what? You can not only buy my stuff, but you can buy other creators as well. And so you're seeing now on the screen, if you're watching this, you're able to see the actual content from the merch store. You see the Learn and Do types of shirts, as well as the Create, Post, Repeat. And so if you've been loving what you see, if you want one of those shirts, there are several of you in the community. Like I'll get tagged into videos and stories like, hey, I finally got my shirt. And so I love to see that. If you want to pick up your own particular merch for this episode, go ahead and go to dyna.link/merch, or go to dyna.link/gearfix, as always, to get this week's podcast episode recommendation. And for this week, we're diving into merch. So let's get back to the conversation with Andrew and Sylvia Nixon. So I want to transition here a bit for, like, Sylvia and I, Andrew and I, we've all had this conversation around things that when people are getting into wanting to do merch, they are wanting to get, what's the difference between like a good product that is shirtable, if you will, versus something that probably shouldn't go on a shirt? Because I think there is a definite difference. Again, I know because I made those ugly shirts that disappeared in one wash. It was a magic trick. So what makes the difference between like a good product, something that you should put into merch, like, and it is a vision-filled thing, versus maybe something that shouldn't be?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that will definitely speak on first is your logo, right? So I think that's one of the biggest things that, there's a lot of pride to that, creating a business, creating a logo. And, and in the era of social media, everybody's a business owner, right? Everybody has a vision. Everybody has an idea. You create a logo, and now I'm legit. I have a business. So now you're so proud of that. You want to put it on everything. You want to put it on your shirt. You want to put it on a mug. You want to put it on,
right,
a onesie, a baby, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it into a tattoo. So although that's great, that's great from a brand awareness standpoint to kind of get people to, recognize and know that, all we have to do is see the golden arches, and we know that that's McDonald's, right? They've built that, but that's not the first thing that's not what they're going to put on a shirt to sell to a customer.
Right.
You know, they're more likely to put some of the other brands, like, you know, Ronald McDonald and, you know, the big purple.
Like, was it Grimace? Grimace, I think it was. Yeah.
Right, because that's what's connecting with the kids, right? So the important word that I said was the connection side of it.
Yeah, I want to add to what Andrew's saying, because I think this is a huge thing for creators, business owners, people that are just starting. 100% agree with the fact that Andrew, mentioned it is the logo. Like, they want to push the logo. But if we think about McDonald's, they push the Big Mac.
Right.
It's the sauce that was oozing out from that burger and that bread. You know what I mean? It's the look of the tomatoes that was attractive.
And that's what was connecting with the people.
That is what connected with the people. It was the French fries, right? It crunchy, hot, skinny, shoestring. It was and the Big Mac and the fries told the story of the Golden Arch, right? So that they got into the rhythm of that, which now people know. Okay, when I see the Golden Arch, I think of
McDonald's,
right? I think of McDonald's. And so just because they had the Golden Arch, that was not the only thing that they pushed in the face of people. They pushed what the Golden Arch could bring. And that was the message of the Big Mac and the message of the French fries.
And what it meant to your taste buds, right?
Right.
And what it meant to have a satisfying meal at a low cost, right? So it's just all, we kind of overlook the real message there, and we just look at it as food. But you know what? Sitting in a boardroom somewhere, that's how they're breaking it down.
Right.
And we're no different than that. You're no different than that as a content creator, to really break down what your message is and how to connect with the people. And once people can connect with the product, or connect with the design, or connect with whatever your world or your vision is, that's what's going to create that stickiness factor.
Right. And so just to break that down a little more, when it comes to something good to put on the shirt and something not good to put on the shirt, something good to put on the shirt is the message that supports what you're doing. And that's what people will buy into. People buy into the message. They're not going to buy into your logo, especially if you're just starting. Right? People buy into Nike, just do it, because that is the message that they have pushed. They've built that from the ground up. Just do it. The commercials all center around just do it. So when I put the check on, then I'm wearing that message, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and they've connected with influential people that help push that message. Michael Jordan being one of the most notable.
Right.
He's one of the biggest that have really helped push their whole agenda. Just do it. So now that he's gone, it now stands alone. So you have to build that up. That's fine, having your logo, but you have to build that up. But it's really about the message.
So the logo is not something that you'll want to put on a shirt, because the logo is just for you. What's your message? Right. And that is what you have to convey to people. Right. Just even with Diana, Learn and Do, she put her name. Well, we put her name under the Learn and Do, but still, when people get that shirt, it's not going to just say Video Simplified on it, without a definition, without the mission, without the message.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yep.
And so we got to dial back and say, okay, let me broaden my mind here. What else do I want to communicate, or what am I communicating? What's my vision? And so that message needs to be on your gear.
I 100% agree. And that was something that was like super important to me when I started to go through and figure out, like, what do I want to say, and what's something that I believe that the audience and the community, not just something that they would want to wear, but what's something that you subscribe to, not in a sense like you click the button on
Right.
YouTube, but it's like, what's a methodology? What's something that you really care about? Like one of the
Right.
shirts that I love to see, and it's like God is dope. It's like when you
Right.
subscribe to that message, then that's something that you care about. It's something that like you rock with. Versus like the
Right.
video simplified, that's like more company-esque uniform type thing when I'm doing some business or what have you. But create, post, repeat. Those
Right.
shirts, those are the shirts like for the community. And so that was something that like I so appreciate, like one, having those initial conversations with you all around like, okay, at first the first shirt was that I made was coffee, record, repeat. And I was like, I don't just want it just to be coffee, because not everybody likes coffee. Some people are
Right.
tea,
Right.
some people are guava juice. I'm like, but create, post, repeat is something that, again, it was just birthed out of something that I believe my mentor and coach taught me really well, is to speak your message. And sometimes when you
Yep.
haven't figured out what that is, just keep talking. It will come out. And so
Yeah.
it was one of those things where in a video, just kind of came out. It's like create, post, repeat. Do that over and over, regardless. Create, post, repeat. But again, it leads into the learn and do, just whole thought process of everything that we do in the company that is quote unquote the brand Video Simplified. Nobody cares about the
Correct.
Video Simplified brand, but you do love the create, post, repeat. And I'll see people wearing those shirts, not because it's Diana Gladney or Video Simplified, but because it's something that they identify with as
Correct.
well. And that's
So,
a for sure lesson I had to learn.
Yeah. And it's definitely it is a lesson that most business owners and upcoming entrepreneurs, you need to grab a hold of it,
Mm,
because you will lose your audience um because you don't have that in place for them to support you and to tell others about your message.
hmm
And so we've seen where, some affiliates, we would say, okay, what's the message, what's the message? No, I want my logo on there.
hmm
Okay, we're gonna give you what you want. And then, it's a thing of, well, people are not buying it. The reason people are not buying it is because there's nothing to connect them with.
mm,
And so, like Diana said, once you get that message, you keep speaking that message, right? And if we go back to the God is Dope shirt, most people that have it have no idea who is the CEO of God is Dope.
right. Oh,
they
that's so
They
don't.
don't.
good.
They don't know. They don't, and frankly, they probably don't care.
Mm,
They're just waiting for another God is Dope design to hit so they can get another one,
And it's really
because they support the
and it's
message.
really been the same design throughout. Now I know they've done a couple
Right.
different things, but it's really been that main design, and different garments, different colored shirts, and that's it. So they've been very consistent. I'm saying that to say they've been very consistent with their message and their brand, and that's all that it takes, just consistency. I think we talked about this the other day. It was a different conversation, but again, with that, we're in this microwave type society, right?
Mm-hmm.
mm,
We want to throw it in the microwave, and we want it to be hot in in a matter of seconds. We want it to be hot in a minute. But no, sometimes you're gonna have to go to that conventional oven, make sure you preheat it, get the right temperature, and let that bad boy bake for a while.
Right.
And that's you communicating. That's you being consistent. That's you being the model for it. That's you pushing. You have to eat, sleep, and breathe it. And if you don't, then how are other people going to buy into it?
And I'll add this too, because this is a very, I'm so glad that you asked this, Diana, because I believe that this is your start and your end,
mm,
all in one. And I another thing that I want to share is that you have to think about the end user. A lot of creators, business owners, entrepreneurs, they're thinking about themselves,
Right.
mm,
and that has to change. And it has to change quickly, because when you are creating, think about your community. So here's an example. So in creating a design, you want to make sure that there is a message, number one. you want to also make sure that you have things for everyone. So it is, if your community is has various ages, you want to make sure that there's something for every age, right? And so a lot of times we see that people will say, okay, well, I don't like pink. I don't like long sleeve. I don't like blue. Okay, well, it's not just about you, and you really want to create an overarching all things for all people. And so that means that I need to think about my community and say, okay, let me step back. Let me not just think about me and what I like, because every day I could wear black every day. It look black and red lipstick, that's what I like, but that does not mean everybody else will like to wear black. So that means, if I have a store, I need to have something for the one that I've seen that likes yellow, the one that likes purple, the one that likes gold. You know what I mean? And so I need to be able to offer that, and because that's what the community wants. And let me add this: how do you find out what the community wants? You ask them. We've seen we've seen some creators launch a store, but they've already been talking with their community about it. Hey, the store is launching in 2 months. This is what we're going to have. However, I want to see what you want. You tell me what you want, and then we're going to build from there. Include them in your growth process.
Yeah, it's a great way to engage with your community and to also get their buy-in, right?
Right.
And any community, they would like nothing more to feel included, to feel some type of stake in building of any brand. So that is a good way of kind of reeling them in, for them to have some stake in, to say, you know what, I was a part of that. I was a part of that movement.
And it makes me think about as creators, we have to step back and look and see and how the world is doing it. Although you don't want to do everything that everybody else does, right, but it's working, right? When it comes to creating,
any major brand does it.
Every major brand does it. You think about a movie. We are seeing trailers for movies that will come out in September. Right? Why is that important? Because they want to get this in every house. They want people to remember. So they say the same thing, just like you said, Diana. You need to speak that message. So they are repeating this on the radio, on the television, on, you know what I mean? Internet. We're seeing that same thing. So we know when September hits, we're going to go see it. Why? Because they drilled it in our head. So whether it's good or bad, we're still going to go for the show. Right. And so the same thing applies as a creator. You want to make sure that you are drilling this in before. I just think about, okay, what's my word? You want to have a trailer. What's your trailer as a creator, right? Or what are you telling the people? What are you giving them, right? And so once you have a trailer, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Dang. Once you have a trailer, then that's what you're going to keep pushing. So when you launch, right? When you launch the store, when you launch whatever, it's not going to be hard, and people will be ready and they will buy.
The ground is fertile.
The ground is fertile. I mean, we had one client, they had a trailer, right? These are our shirts. This is what we're doing. Let me tell you, don't miss it. We're launching X date. They did in 2 weeks, $30,000 in retail sales. 30,000.
And they haven't stopped.
And they have not stopped. And so it's because they're always giving them a trailer. Give people a trailer for the series that you're going to start. If you're going to start talking about XYZ, whether it's a camera, whether it is, Roadcaster, whatever you're going to do, what's your trailer?
In fact, they do it once a week. They do it every Monday.
Yep, every Monday. Talking about the merch along with the other things. Don't miss your opportunity, right? How did we get here from what to do and what to put on the shirt?
Because it's good. Because it's good. And it was right.
But don't miss the opportunity to tell other people that your store is open.
Right.
Right. And so it does no good to have a site, whether it is PressNSow whether it is Teesprings, whether it's Printful, Shopify, it does no good for you to have it but not have something in it and tell people about it.
Right.
Right. And so you don't want to miss that opportunity to tell people, hey, I do have this, and this is the message that I want you to wear all the time. So, yeah.
It's just like having a brick and mortar store in a shopping mall, and you just had a grand opening that nobody knew about.
Right.
The marquee sign is off, but you're in there waiting for people to come in.
Wow.
It doesn't make any sense. You know,
Wow.
you're paying the landlord, you're paying the electric bill, you're doing
Yeah.
all these different things, but nobody knows about it. It's your big secret.
Ooh.
So, you know,
Or you're the only one that's wearing it.
right. So you know, how much work are you going to really put into it? It takes work. It's not
easy.
about just boasting about you having a store and I have this up, or hey, look at my logo on this page. It's not. I mean, it doesn't do us any good. So that's why that's one thing. I know we didn't get to this part of the conversation, but that's one thing that really differentiates us from others or from anybody else. But our business model, we're really vested into, you know, the branding and the marketing aspect of it. You know, we never just we just don't print. We just don't create that. We're very vested into you being successful.
If you want to be
successful,
right? We can't. And the thing, like, we've seen it where, okay, you're vested because you feel like you're on a high, but then okay, you have if you feel like, okay, I'm not getting a lot of views, you know, I'm not as motivated, right? So now you're microwave, right? And you're running by your feeling. You can't run by your feeling in this. You have to run by truth. Truth is what you stand by, your message, and you're going to be consistent in it. And so that means, okay, if I have 3 people on my live, that does not mean that I missed the opportunity to tell them that my store is open.
Right.
This is the message that we have. This is what is happening. Tell somebody about it. You know what I mean?
Those 3 are important.
Right. And so, you know, partnering with us to help you to, you know, okay, well, let's come up with this idea. Okay, we can't come up with an idea one time. It has to be consistent. And I think that's the biggest thing. You know, everything is the biggest thing. But you know,
one of the other biggest things.
One of the other biggest things is to be consistent with it. And I think just as people, that's just something that we struggle in because we allow our emotions to get the best of us, and we allow our feelings to take over. And so when we allow that, then it puts us in a place where now, if I let my emotion drive me, I'm not going to go anywhere. Or I'm just going to have a one-night wonder, a one-hit wonder, right? And it's just going to like a one-night stand. It's going to be good, right? But then what's going to happen after that? Nothing. There's no foundation, no growth, no, you know, no acceleration to that. Nothing at all. And so we have to just do better. I say we, because we put ourselves in that place, right? We have to do better with being consistent and falling in love with what you have in your hands. I'm going to say it again. Fall in love with what you have in your hands, because we fall in love with what other people have in their hands, and then we're looking at their hand. Well, they're doing this, and then maybe I need to do this. No, I need to fall in love with Learn and Do, right? If Learn and Do was mine, I need to fall in love with Learn and Do. I need to think about Learn and Do. I need to build with Learn and Do, stuff of that nature.
Instead of being all over the place.
All over the place, or looking at somebody else to see what they have. Like you got to cherish what has been given to you. And I tell you, a perfect person to see, you know, as an example of they've fallen in love with what they do is Diana. Because I mean, we've seen her from, you know, what we saw in the beginning, and now, I mean, like, she has people messaging us, hey, this is what we need. Oh, wait a minute, where's Diana? Diana is still building somewhere else, but she's fallen in love with what has been placed in her hands. And so now other people can fall in love with that and support that. And so I think that, another important
and another one
and another
one
is that you have to love what you do. And even for PressNSow, I mean, we are in love. That there's so many people that do what we do. Even here in Jacksonville, there's so many people, and we could compare ourselves to them.
And we haven't. I'm really proud of us that we have not. We just we've I mean, I don't know if we've created a lane, but we've created our own lane that we're in, and we're expounding upon that. By no means have we gotten comfortable, but we're just kind of staying in that lane. I think I remember, I don't know if it was, I think I had a lot more design work to do versus production work to do one particular week. And I went to the shop, and I just remember how good it felt when I walked through the threshold of that door, and I said out loud, I said, "Oh, it feels so good to be back in the shop."
And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, machine, I miss you." Okay, wait a minute, Andrew.
I mean, I'm just trying to think back. I don't remember a time of ever saying that when I worked in a corporate world. I mean, I guess for some people maybe, but the fact that I can get up every day and strap on my boots and be able to do that and say that my boots, my sneakers, boots, slippers, whatever. But to be able to say that, I think that's the ultimate place that any individual or individuals should want to get to. And when you can work with that mindset and have your whole heart into what you're doing, you're gonna love it. Like I can be firm and confident in saying that anyone that talks to us about our business, if they don't feel and get the message that we convey about our business and what we're doing, and that we love it, then I'm not sure what you're picking up. But I mean, we love what we do, and that's what motivates us.
And that's
every day. That's what helps us go the extra mile.
Yeah, and that's what keeps us focused. Yeah. And again, when you get to the place where you say, okay, I want to fall in love with what I do, right? You have to have that determined mind that you're not going to compare yourself, right? But just also know, hey, I'm not going to get it all right.
Right.
And so we don't nail ourselves to the cross. If we don't get it all right, we give ourselves grace. We give ourselves grace to stretch, and we give ourselves grace to learn. And so if we're not going to nail ourselves to the cross, we're not going to let anybody else do that.
Right.
So that right there continues to keep us level-headed, level-minded, so we can keep going and not get distracted.
You got to have that Monday morning quarterback, type mindset. This is if you lost, or even if you won. Actually, you can't relish too long in the wins, and you definitely don't want to relish in the losses either, right? You take those wins and start preparing for the next win. So we don't dwell on any one thing too long. We learn from it, that we keep it pushing.
Yeah.
I love that so much, man. It is so much to unpack in what you all have said, in the sense that it's not just about brand building. It's not just about your vision, but really the work that you're doing. Like, it's such a tremendous and great work, honestly. Like, first of all, thank you all so much again for being here, sharing your story, because I think this is going to help a tremendous amount of people. Because a lot of people, they just feel like, I'm going to slap something on my shirt, I'm going to put it out there, and good luck, Chuck. It just is not going to happen. And so, number one, as we wrap up, because I don't want to hold y'all for forever, but I could. We could talk about this all day long, but we going to...
And we would.
Yeah. Okay. But we have more coming, because in the new series coming to the channel called the Creator Series, which we've already done a few videos for, we're going to go into a full week of talking about these kinds of things. And we're going to be doing that with PressNSow. So for those of you listening, or if you're watching this on the podcast channel, you will start to see those on the main channel with PressNSow, with Andrew and Sylvia Nixon. Please tell the people that are listening and or watching where they can not only find out more about you, but where they can connect with you if they are ready to start showing their vision in a merch style, designs and stuff like that?
So we are, you can find us online at PressNSow, PRESS, the letter N, and then SOW.com. You can fill out the connection portion with us. There is also a tab of how it works, and you can put your information in there and schedule some time to speak with us. But we would love to connect with you to help you build your merch store, products, vision, and branding out, because it's very, very important. So that is our main way of connecting. And I do want to add this in, Diana. We have, for those that have never been to the website, if you go there to PressNSow.com, you'll see some of the affiliates that we have that from the Press and Sew side. We print all of their merch, but then there's another side. If you already have a portal, then we can manage your portal and print on demand for you. So there's many aspects and many, options that we have that we can work together and make your dream come to pass.
That's platforms such as like Shopify,
right?
Also WooCommerce as well. So we're able to integrate ourselves in there as a supplier, as a fulfillment, and we can manage all of that for you too as well. So there's a lot of different aspects to what we do and how we can connect with you and again help push your vision forward and make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And last forever. Come on. Make it look good and last forever.
Because we don't need nobody else putting a shirt in the washing machine one time and the whole concept just disappeared.
That magic game.
Okay,
yeah.
the vision went down the drain, literally. Well, thank you all so much for being here. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with the Video Simplified community, because I wholeheartedly believe that you all are absolutely walking in the purpose of what God has called you to do. And I pray that you get everything that he has for you, because you all absolutely deserve it. Absolutely deserve it.
Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you. And thank you to the Video Simplified community just for receiving us. And we hope to work with all of you.
I have chicken skin after having this conversation with Andrew and Sylvia Nixon. And I sincerely mean that, because it has been a journey and a lot when you're talking about building your brand and your vision and the products and services that you offer outside of your main things, like your merch and stuff. That stuff matters so much so like we're so ingrained into when it's done well, we don't even ever think about it. You just reach for your favorite shirt, your pair of shoes, your favorite mug over all the other options that you have, you may like, but there's something that you're really drawn to. And being able to create that for yourself and your brand the same way that you love other companies, brands, products, to the point you don't care if somebody calls you a fanboy or fangirl, because you're in it to win it. So that's the same thing. And that's the same kind of love and affection that you honestly want your people to have when it comes to your brand, your merch, and your products and your services. And I sincerely hope that you'll give this episode another listen and send this episode out to other creators that need to hear this message, because I absolutely believe it's going to be a blessing to you, your business, and honestly, getting your message out there and sharing your vision. That's everything of what the Video Simplified community is all about. And as I love to end all of our podcast episodes, the winds of life blows on us all, but it is how you set your sails. So set your sails accordingly. And with that, guys, a little bit of passion. I'll see you on the next episode of the Video Simplified podcast. Take care.